Not happy. Here's Matt Rule on his quarterback.
I think one thing about Sam, he has some moxie, man. I mean, he stayed in the pocket, had that long run called back, but, finding Terrace on the 3rd and 12. I mean, there were some huge conversions by Sam. And, again, it's him just playing within the system, but also I think he has a courageousness that, he's not crossing the line going over the top. He's protecting the football and still pushing the ball down there.
We're starting to find our identity as an offense, and, I think I just got to, again, whatever play is called, we just got to execute that play. And that's my job, is to get us in the right play and make sure that, we're kind of hitting on all cylinders and that the offense is moving in the right direction.
Okay. Stephen A., I need you to pay attention to this. You're a New Yorker.
Paying attention.
So Darnold has now thrown for 888 pass yards in his first 3 starts with the Panthers. That's the most in any 3 games of his NFL career. And it's also the second most yards during a 3-0 start by any quarterback in his first 3 starts with the team. He trails only Kurt Warner, who did it with the Rams in 1999 en route to winning MVP. Do you think the Jets made a mistake trading Darnold?
I'm not going to say they made a mistake because, as my boy Jeff, who's a diehard Jets fan, I have no idea why. My condolences to him, and he's contaminated my godchildren because he's a Met and Jets fan. I don't understand it. I really, really don't.
Tough combo.
It's a tough combo to absorb. Nevertheless, what I would say to you is this, and he said it best to me the other day. You can afford to miss on Sam Darnold by drafting Zach Wilson. You couldn't afford to miss on Zach Wilson by not drafting him in favor of keeping Sam Darnold. So I understand that. What I will say, however, is this. Sam Darnold has looked pretty good. Looked a little shaky after Christian McCaffrey went down. But Carolina is a damn good team. Matt Rule appears to be a damn good coach. Sam Darnold was a catastrophe of Adam Gase's making. That was what hurt Sam Darnold. The fact that Adam Gase was his coach and the system that he was playing in wasn't his ability.
And sometimes a stale, stagnant, toxic relationship everyone needs to get out of, right? You see people, it don't have to be football, it could be baseball, basketball, relationships. We see people that are in bad relationships, and it doesn't matter. You need to just get out of it. And Sam having a trade party is a perfect example of how him leaving was probably a fresh start for him. And understanding that I have a new start with a new coach in a new city. And now I can go out there and show people that I am a good football player. And he's been able to do it. And I didn't think he was a bad football player.
Yeah.
I think the circumstances that he was in with coaching, because at the end of the day, it's the influences that your coach has upon you as a young player that could direct where your career goes. You could go that way, you could be here, you could go there. So when he was here, it didn't work out. And the Jets did not work out. Last night, when I watched him play, he looked confident. Looks like he was able to control that offense, and he's got a coach that believes in him and puts him in the right position to throw the football down the field. And his stats show it, and his record shows it. So with that, I think that he's going to have a new, this is a fresh start for him.
Yeah.
And the Jets, just like what Stephen A. said, they had to go get that kid in the draft. Because if they didn't, and he had another bad season here, Sam Darnold had another bad season, it's a wrap.
Tim, you know what it's like to play for the Jets.
Yeah, I think this was a great move for both sides of them. I think Sam Darnold, it's a fresh start. It's a new culture. It's a new environment, a belief in the people around him. I think that is huge. It really can just give someone confidence. And when a quarterback especially plays with confidence, they're a completely different player. But I also think it was the right move for the Jets, right? Because you have a new head coach in there. You're building a new system. You need fresh air in there as well. And so I think this was a great move for both sides. I'm rooting for Sam Darnold because I think he's got a lot of talent. He's still extremely young, one of the youngest quarterbacks in the NFL with a lot more experience than other people, but also not just good experience from learning from tough situations and adversity, which I think could really help him because at some point this year in Carolina, they're going to hit adversity. Now Sam has a little bit of experience of how to deal with that. I think it could go a long way.
Absolutely. All right. Tim, Rob, thank you so much for being with us. And Tim, I hope we started off your weekend.
We did. I'm sure
Absolutely,
we did.
you did.
Good.
Goodbye,
Looks
man.
fantastic. Stephen A., I knew you were going to come through. Honorable man, my friend, Stephen A.
Oh, please, change your face, please. You hear the crowd?
You heard my face.
Wow.
You know, forget y'all. Forget all of y'all. Okay? I love Tim Tebow, but he got me this week.
The rest of this year, it was one bad game. They're going to be totally fine.
Tim, I agree with you. Are we really talking demise? of Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, maybe it was a poor word.
Aaron Rodgers, demise. Come on now. Now, first of all, I know this is we all look at the quarterback. It's a quarterback-driven league, right? So when we're talking about quarterbacks and Aaron Rodgers, we expect greatness every time that he's playing on Sunday. Now, they played the Saints week 1, okay? Jameis Winston, what did he throw? 5 touchdowns in that game?
Yeah.
Yes.
What did he do the next week?
Yeah.
So it's a team sport too now. So the Green Bay Packers have some issues on defense that they have to address. They have to be better on defense. So Aaron Rodgers having the offseason and all the drama that was going on with the offseason, that first game that we all saw, that's why everyone jumped on that whole, this is happening, it's over for Aaron Rodgers. No. Granted, they just won against the Lions, and I don't think the Lions are going to be in the playoffs, and they're not going to make any noise this year. So it really didn't show me anything, like this team, where they at, because if they would have lost to the Lions, we would all been going crazy. The demise is real. So we'll find out this week against the 49ers if they can travel, if they can win a game on the road, if Aaron Rodgers looks like he did against the Lions, against the 49ers. We'll find out. But it's too early to say that the demise is happening to Aaron Rodgers.
First of all, put Tim Tebow up on this screen, y'all, because I want Tim Tebow and Rob Ninkovich all on the screen together, because I'm going to get on both of y'all. Both of y'all, okay? I mean, y'all are ridiculous. First of all, let me get to you first, Rob.
Okay.
Even if Green Bay loses this week, we got questions about the Packers. We ain't going to have questions about Aaron Rodgers. Stop that, okay? That's number one.
True.
Now let me get to Tim Tebow. Mr. Sensitivity here. What are you talking about the media? What happened? Who talked about the demise of Aaron Rodgers? The reigning league MVP, 37 years of age, fresh off of throwing 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He has one bad game. What did we say? It was a bad game. We've never seen Aaron Rodgers that bad. What was the question about him? He's so disgusted with the Green Bay Packers situation and everything that transpired this offseason. Can they make this work? Because the relationship is up in the air. No one questioned the greatness of Aaron Rodgers at all. Nobody was thinking about questioning the greatness of Aaron Rodgers at all. So what about the media? What did the media do wrong? What did the media do, Tim? What did he do?
They hyped it up like all of a sudden he just fell off a cliff when it's just one game. And by the way, the question we're asking right now is hyping it up. Was Aaron Rodgers' demise overhyped? That's still hyping it up.
Well,
That's
let me ask you this question.
A lot of times that's what a lot of...
Hold on, Tim Tebow. Let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
When we sat up there and said that Aaron Rodgers, it was the most atrocious game he has ever played in his career. He's never looked that bad. What we were saying was, wow, he's never looked that bad. He doesn't jump up in the air and throw passes. He doesn't throw the ball 3 feet behind a receiver. We don't see that from Aaron Rodgers. So in his first game, after all of this friction with his organization, we saw it. And because we point that out and we noticed it, we were sitting up there and saying, it's over for Aaron. Nobody in the media said that about him. And Aaron Rodgers to stop acting like people said that about him, because they did it. What they said was, look, things ain't great with you and the Green Bay Packers. You could be everybody ain't as kind and sweet and as lovable as Tim Tebow. Everybody ain't as stoic with Super Bowl rings all over the place like Rob Ninkovich. Some dudes might be so disgusted with a situation. Yeah, I want to play, but I can't stand looking at these people. That is possible, which is all anybody questioned.
Yeah, but the problem is when you take one game and then you say, hey, that one game is going to represent how we're going to view someone. It's the first game of the year. It's 1 out of 17. Listen, the best players in the world have had bad games. I get it. It was one of A-Rod's worst games, but that happens. Guess what? He bounced back, and I think he's going to continue to bounce back, and also he'll find a way to get his team right. And I know there's been some turmoil there this offseason, but when you look at it, you can't just say, okay, that's one game, and then even ask the question, is he done? It's like when the people did that years ago about Tom Brady. Oh, they're one game, bad game against the Chiefs, and they're done. It's just not true. It's one bad game, right? That happens. Listen, we're not a Madden rating that every single game you're a 90 or you're an 89 or whatever rating, and that's how you show up every game. No, it's personal. It's relationships. It's game plans. It's, they might have had a bad game plan where, that's on the coaches too. It might have been, there's so many things that go into how a team performs, right? That's also when we praise Tom Brady and the Patriots for the way they did it, is because they were able to perform at such a high level over and over and over again. It is really hard to do. So when you have a team go up and down, guess what? That happens because, you know, the human nature comes into play. We're not always the same. It's not a Madden rating.
Yeah, and I'm not questioning Aaron Rodgers and his ability. Because, listen, after that game, when he's winking at the reporter, right, he winked at him because he knew that he asked him the question he didn't like. Same wink he gave me when he beat me in 2014, okay? He looked at me. He looked at me, gave me a big blue eye wink. I said, oh, man, he knows I have him in mirror coverage. This is in trouble. I'm in trouble because he's Aaron Rodgers. So I'm not questioning Aaron Rodgers. He's still got tons of talent. The only thing that we saw this offseason was the relationship between management. Did that affect the team chemistry between the greatest player you have on the roster, the chemistry with the guys in the locker room, and the people upstairs?
And by the way, Molly, why should I have to listen to Tim Tebow? He's at a place now. They got Knicks signs behind him.
Yeah, I was actually waiting to get the single shot.
That's the environment he's in.
Hold on. Can we get a single shot of Tim? Can I see that sign? The last time the Knicks won. Oh, that looks like that's for you, Stephen A. Tebow wasn't born. It is a Stephen A. Tell me
you asking why you should listen to me? You asked me to come on the show.
You know what? He did this on purpose. I think Tim Tebow told them to place that sign right behind him. Welcome to the latest edition of First Take. What's going on, everybody? There's a lot of stuff coming up. We got some NFL topics. We got all of that stuff coming up.
I can't see you.
Huh?
I can't see you. I need to
Stephen,
see you.
let the people see the beautiful look. I love it. Hey, Stephen, you know, there was never a doubt, buddy. I knew you were honorable. You were a man of character. You're a man of integrity. And now you're rocking it. And it looks beautiful. beautiful. It's perfect,
This is a
man.
very embarrassing day for me.
I know the fashion game. You care so much about it, too.
I have to wear this because I lost a bet to that man. I'm sick to my... Go! First Take's up next. Let's go.
When Stephen A. loses, we all win. I wore orange for you. Love you, Stephen A. Plenty more to get to, including breaking down all things Bucs and Rams. Stafford versus Brady. Let's go. Plus, we hear from Brady. Was he cool with his father and trainer spilling all the tea on Belichick? And we hit on another NFC showdown, Rodgers versus the Niners. And ESPN's NBA rank is out. KD came out #1. Kendrick Perkins says that is wrong. All right, guys, let's talk some football. Stephen A., Tim Tebow, let's go. The 2-0 Tampa Bay Buccaneers visit the 2-0 Los Angeles Rams for an early season showdown between the team that won the Super Bowl in its home stadium last season and a team that hopes to do the same this year in SoFi. Much of that success is due to their veteran quarterbacks, Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford, who have thrown for 1,254 combined yards, 14 TDs, and 2 of the NFL's top passer ratings. Now, the Rams beat the Bucs last November in Tampa. Then the Bucs took another home loss 6 days later against Kansas City, and they haven't lost a game since. Here's Matthew Stafford on the challenge ahead.
Going against a great defense. You know, it's played about as good as any defense in the league. You know, last year and a half, playing really good ball. You know, it's two teams that are playing good football right now, going against each other, and I'm excited about it. It's a big challenge for us. You know, I got a ton of respect. You know, for what he's done in the past and shoot what he's doing right now. I mean, he's playing great football, about as good as I've ever seen him play.
All right, Matthew Stafford has a better QBR and higher completion percentage. Brady is pacing the entire NFL with 9 touchdown passes through his first 2 games. Tim Tebow, any chance for a Bucs letdown?
0 chance. Now, could they lose to the Rams? Of course, because Aaron Donald, Matt Stafford, the entire team, but a letdown? No. I mean, we're talking about Tom Brady, Bruce Arians, this veteran team, everybody coming back. There's 0 chance of a letdown, right? You're playing a really good team, so you got to execute. But listen, Tom Brady's not looking ahead to the Patriots. Tom Brady is focused on every single game. He's the best to have ever done it at taking it one game at a time, and he's going to be focused. Their team's going to be focused, and I think there's 0 chance of a letdown.
Well, first of all, I want to just get this out of the way first while I got the wonderful Tim Tebow here. I got to bow down to the Florida Gators. I was stunned. I was laughing when they were down 21-3. I said, all I need is one more score. I told them they were going to lose by 3 touchdowns. I did not see it coming. They outplayed Alabama for the final 3 quarters. Gator Nation showed up those last 3 quarters. I got to give props where it's due. I can't just slide by and be a punk about it and act like I'm going to wiggle my way out of this. I thought the romp was coming to the swamp. And damn it, they almost beat Alabama. I was nervous as hell. I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous. I was like, what is happening here? So bow down to the Florida Gators. I know they lost, but major props from me. I gotta give it to them.
And now Friday's tie day.
So now I want to get and Friday is this ridiculous tie that I'm wearing, but it's neither here nor there. I lost the bet. I got a man up.
It's beautiful.
Oh, there you go.
Hey, there's no doubt.
He doesn't
By the
even
way,
wear the Gator
Coach
ties.
Mullen shot me a text yesterday. Hey, by the way, Coach Mullen shot me a text yesterday, and he said, you can tell Stephen A. he doesn't have to wear a Gator tie, right? The standard at Gator Nation is to win. And so they don't need to lower the standard. And so I was like, yeah, I might text him, but you know what? I really just want to see the tie. So it's
That's
okay.
right.
You
You
know,
never
he
sent me
let
that
you
text.
off of it, but I think you look great in it.
You never sent me that
I
text and
almost
never
did.
forwarded that
Sorry,
text to me.
I
You see how
forgot.
he is? Oh, my Lord. Okay. Let
I
me move
forgot.
on. Ooh. He
Do
did
you see how I coordinated with you?
There is no coordination.
Yes, it is.
I don't-
Orange.
No.
The orange and the
no,
tie and the
it's not-
orange
it's not-
dress
It's not
for the
coordination.
Florida Gators.
No, it's not
Whatever.
coordination, okay?
I tried to be a good teammate.
Now let me get
And
to the
help
Tampa
you while
Bay
you're in a low
Buccaneers.
place.
There is a chance for a letdown. There is a chance for a letdown. I respectfully disagree with Tim Tebow, but not from Tom Brady. I think it's a chance for a letdown from the rest of the team. I think the rest of the team, although they're veterans, no question about it, especially with the absence of Antonio Brown, could you be looking ahead to next week in the New England Patriots and Tom Brady returning to Foxborough? It's entirely possible, not just because of them. The media is going in there. They're talking to these guys. They're constantly asking the questions about a week from now, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody recognizes that the Rams are a formidable team and they're a Super Bowl contender. But it's still just another game on Tom Brady's schedule. Next week is not just another game. And because it's not just another game, and those guys are going to repeatedly be reminded. Remember, Gronkowski returns to New England as well. Let's not forget that, but he's not the one that has to throw the football, and he's not the one that essentially had a falling out in a roundabout way with Coach Bill Belichick. So I do believe, Tim Tebow, there is a chance for a letdown. Not by Tom Brady, but by the other dudes. I do.
But Stephen A., it's not just another game. They're looking at a Rams team that genuinely has a chance to make it to the Super Bowl. You look at from top to bottom, they have an incredibly deep roster. They have playmakers, they have stars, and now they have a quarterback that is one of the most talented in the game. Listen, I don't think Brady would let his team look past him. I don't think Bruce Arians would. And when you look at the veterans on this team, they know that, yes, obviously they have the Patriots in front of them, but they're focused on now. And this is a bigger, harder threat than the Patriots will be next week. So I don't see any chance. Could they lose? Of course, if they get out-executed. I don't think they're looking past this team. They're too good. You have too much respect for Aaron Donald, Matt Stafford, the entire coaching staff, the way that they play. They're too good to look past.
Listen, you might be right. I'm just not sold on it for the rest of the team. And by the way, when we look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, this is a team that ranks 30th against the pass. So Matthew Stafford is anticipating having a very big day, and Tom Brady had better do the same in order to elevate their chances to beat the Los Angeles Rams. So we got to pay attention to that.
And let me take that a step further. They're also going to be without their lead running back. Don't forget they don't have Darrell Henderson either, so they're certainly going to be airing it out. And on the other side, we know Antonio Brown can't go.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pick it. Tim, who are you going with?
I'm going with the Bucks. I think that they're playing extremely hot right now. Tom Brady is on fire. I think their defense can get to the quarterback. I do think that they'll give up some deep play actions because the Rams are so good at it. But I think their defensive line sets the tone in this game just to get to Matt Stafford just enough to disrupt him. I think Bucks win in a close one.
I think so as well. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. It's going to be tight, but I agree with Tebow. I think the Buccaneers win this football game. I think that right now, if you look at them, although they're suspect against the pass and it's problematic, I think the way they're flowing offensively is going to be enough to overcome whatever defensive prowess the Rams will bring in their direction. I'm going to pick the Bucks.
Okay.
I'm going to pick the Bucks to win this
So
game.
both of you going with the Bucks. Tim, Stephen A., I'm just curious, have either of you ever dealt with attention from the media or criticism, anything like that?
Yeah, we deal with it all the time. Now, Tim is much nicer about dealing with it than me.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you guys have had people talk about you before, right? You've dealt with that?
Yeah, we do.
All right. So you're perfect for this. If you were ever curious of what really godfather of his son, his spiritual coach, business partner, trainer, nutrition coach, Guerrero had this to say about Tom's relationship with Belichick. The interesting thing I think there, and this is just me, an outsider looking in, it was like Bill never really, I think his emotions or feelings never evolved with age. I think in time with Tom, as Tom got into his late 30s or early 40s, I think Bill was still trying to treat him like that 20-year-old kid he had drafted. And all the players, I think, realized Tom was different. He's older, so he should be treated differently. And all the players, none of them would have cared that he was treated differently. I think that was such a Bill thing. He never evolved, so you can't treat someone who's in his 40s like they're 20. It doesn't work. Those words, all courtesy of the Boston Herald. Here's what Tom had to say about all this.
Yeah, I have, great respect and admiration for my time there. I've had great 20 great years there. I kind of spoke that the last 18 months. It's a great time in my life. But really happy to be here, and I think we've done some great things in a short period of time. Really love the teammates that I have that I'm playing with here. Love the coaches. The organization's been amazing. Again, it's just a lot of gratitude for me.
Okay. Tim, first I want to start with this. Your reaction to what Tom Brady Sr. and Alex Guerrero had to say, and then we'll get into Tom's response.
Well, I think they're very passionate, and I think it's very personal to them. Whether it's true or it's not, it's very emotional, and they care deeply about it. Whatever has happened, whatever's transpired with the relationships that Tom had in New England, and whether that's just with Belichick, whether it's with more people, obviously they care. And so when you see family members and loved ones, be able to, I guess have someone's back, that doesn't bother me. I like hearing that. I like hearing how real and authentic it is. But then I also think when you look at what Tom Brady said, he just takes the high road like he always has. And I think that's a great move for him, because what is it, even if it is true, what does it matter if Tom goes out and he says derogatory things? I think Tom has always taken the high road, is super respectable, it's super honorable, and he said great things about New England. He's also really focused in the present now at Tampa Bay and what they've accomplished. And I think it's also, a little bit of, if it is true, he's killing them with kindness, and I think that's a great thing.
I don't disagree with you, but I also don't think Tom Brady, if he were to come out and to say, listen, we had our time together at the end, though, I thought I had more left than he thought I had. And we disagree on that. I don't think that's being disrespectful to Bill Belichick. I think that's showing a level of faith in yourself and saying, excuse me, you know what? I wasn't finished. I didn't deserve, without having to go into those details, it's essentially saying I didn't deserve you bringing Jimmy Garoppolo in 4 or 5 years ago and thinking that I was on my way out the door. I still had a lot left. I told you I had a lot left, and I deserved the right to leave on my own terms. Now, in fairness to Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, let's harken back, Tim, to what I reported when it first happened. When Tom Brady decided to depart from New England and end up going to Tampa Bay, I was told that if Tom Brady wanted to stay, they would have worked it out. The problem is that in order for him to want to stay, he needed to hear from Bill Belichick that Bill Belichick wanted him to stay. And that's not what Bill Belichick was going to do. And that's why Tom Brady ended up departing. If you win 6 Super Bowl championships and go to 9 Super Bowls in 18 years, and you believe you still have a lot left, and that really what the issue is that you're bereft of talent surrounding you. And this coach is saying, well, it's actually you. You're the one that needs to go so I can do what I want to do here. That hurts because you feel in your heart of hearts that you deserve better. And that's not just about football, Tim. That's about life. When you know that you have credentials and you've delivered and you've produced, and somebody comes to you and they say they think you're finished long before you know that you are, that stings. And I think that it's important to recognize the fact that transcends sports. That's anywhere in life when you're a high-end producer and you don't feel you're being appreciated as much as you should be appreciated. And I think that's why something like this really resonates. That's why you saw his father answer it the way that he did. That's why you saw the trainers say what he said. They didn't sit up there and say Bill Belichick was a bad person. Bill Belichick was a bad guy. He wasn't a good coach or anything like that. They said, one said he didn't evolve. And the father said, "You damn right. This is, validation
So there were
on our part."
factual events of what transpired. And Tim, before you jump in here, Stephen A., you said, I think Tom Brady could come out and say that. He didn't need to say that because his people just did that for him.
I'm just saying, had he, it wouldn't be disrespectful.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Tim?
Yeah. Molly, I totally agree with what you just said. And obviously you can assume that, that the Brady's family has been felt disrespected, whether it's true or it's not. That's the way that they feel, and that's something that you could tell his dad is holding on to, and Alex maybe a little bit, and so they were passionate about what they said. But I like what Brady said because it's, in my opinion, the best thing for his team now. Maybe it could have been personal for him to share something about New England, but how does that help his team? Right now, he keeps the focus on his team, on his players, on in the present, in the now. Listen, he's going to have a lot of times and a lot of years to write books and memoirs and do a last dance of his own one day and have all that come out, and there can be a time and a place for that. But right now, it's about the next one. It's about beating the Rams, beating the Patriots, winning another Super Bowl. And I think this move was the best move for his team now. So he can walk in that locker room and say, you know what? Everybody wants to make it about me and all this other stuff. I'm making it about you guys. I'm making it about this team because I believe in you. And we can do what we did last year again. And guess what? People are going to be talking about this team, not just me. And I think that rallies a team together like you saw. Even when you hear Bruce Arians, he's like, yeah, one guy changed the culture, Tom Brady. Why? Because he is about that. He's not about just me or what I've accomplished in the past. He's about this team, and he makes everybody better. And I think that is another example of why you look at a guy that's a great player but also a great leader.
For me personally, the one thing that I want to say in regards to Bill Belichick, specifically as it pertains to Alex Guerrero's quotes, is this. We got to, some people have to learn that it's all right that everyone isn't the same. When you've earned what Tom Brady has earned, it's all right to treat him differently, especially when he's such a team player and he's such a leader and he's such an assist in you accomplishing what you're ultimately aiming to accomplish. And what you heard from Guerrero was a guy in Bill Belichick that is going to be the way that he is. No matter what, he ain't changing, he ain't modifying, he's not altering in any way. And sometimes that's not the greatest thing. Just doesn't make him a bad person at all. It's just that sometimes that level of stubbornness, you got to compromise to some degree, and you got to deduce who's worth the compromise. And too many people don't do that. And that's what gets them into trouble.
And maybe he truly felt his best days were behind him. And, Tim, you talk about writing the book for Tom Brady. I want to see the Bill Belichick book and see how he feels now. And obviously the full story isn't written. We'll see how this season plays out with his new quarterback. But that would be very interesting as well to get Bill's response. But we know he's going to keep everything close to the vest. Let me ask you this, though, Tim. Do you think Brady is the best quarterback so far this season on the field?
I don't think you could look at the way he's played and any other quarterback and say they're better. I think there's been some incredible performances at times by other guys, but I think he's the top of the top. And if you say, hey, who do you trust in the fourth quarter, down by 6 with one drive, I have to still go with Tom Brady because I think not only is he playing at an elite level, but he plays his best when his best is needed, when the games are getting close, when it's a 2-minute drill, when they have to come from behind. We saw it week 1 against Dallas. He still has that it factor that a lot of other people are just hoping for. But he's not hoping for it. He goes out there and delivers it time and time again. And when the game got close Sunday against the Falcons, he delivered over and over. And also, so did his defense, because this is a team that believes in one another. And so even if the offense might not have had the best performance, their defense shows up and they play an incredible complementary football.
I appreciate what you're saying about Tom Brady, and he is the greatest of all time because his resume says so. And I get all of that. But I'm certainly not going to look at him and say, he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I'm not doing that. I saw Clyde Edwards-Helaire fumble the football. Outside of that, when Patrick Mahomes has the ball with the game on the line, who doubts what he's going to do? Nobody, because we continuously see him do it. Time and time and time again. He's just that special. Again, he doesn't have the resume, and he's fresh off a Super Bowl loss to Tom Brady. But right now, even with Tom Brady looking great, having 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, completing 65% of his passes along the way, I will remind you that Patrick Mahomes has 1 interception and 6 touchdowns and is completing 76% of his passes. And, oh, by the way, the Kansas City Chiefs are the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's because of him. So I just couldn't dismiss that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Stephen A. Listen, I'm not foolish enough to, try to, come on this show and knock Patrick Mahomes. He's unbelievable. Like, obviously, he's one of the best in the game. He's super talented. I think he's got one of the best arms, and he's an underrated athlete. He's a really good athlete, and he's fantastic moving, in the pocket. And I think he's has a chance to be one of the best of all time. But I think still right now, if you said, hey, one drive, game on the line, I have to pick between the two, I think I'm still going Tommy B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you do that.
Stern has a lot of experience in those moments.
I'm going with Patrick Mahomes.
All right, real quick before we go to break. Tim, did you know that Stephen A. has a job interview after the show? I didn't know that. Florida's
really?
Athletic.
Is he trying to get hired by Florida?
Yeah, I think the AD position. Is that where you go?
I think you would be. I think it would be great.
It looks like an athletic
Definitely looking the part. It looks
right
great,
now.
Man. Do you feel like it can? Do you feel like Stephen A. You could say like, hey, it's great to be a Florida Gator today, or?
No, I can't say that. All right, you know what? For y'all, I will do it. You know what, Gator Nation?
Oh God,
it's great to be a Florida Gator today. I give it to y'all. I got to give it to y'all. It's sickening.
Oh my God.
I don't know what the hell happened to Alabama the last 3 quarters. I have no idea. But y'all, Alabama, Nick Saban and y'all have me wearing this tie. Now, Nick Saban don't give a damn. He probably sitting there saying, you shouldn't have bet on us like that. Shouldn't have bet on us. It was foolish for you to sit up there and say we were going to win by 3 touchdowns at least. So he's blaming me.
Listen.
But it is what it is. I believed in Alabama, and it didn't happen.
When you go to your interview in G Vegas, just drop Tim's name. Might help you out.
I'm not going to G Vegas without Tim Tebow. He's coming with me.
What an NFC matchup we've got on Sunday with Aaron Rodgers taking on the Niners. Was the demise of Rodgers greatly exaggerated? Plus, Sam Darnold and the Panthers are now 3-0. I repeat, they are undefeated. How badly will the Jets regret trading the young quarterback? And are the Panthers legit? Stay tuned for that. It's unbelievable. Good day, Lady Liberty. Beautiful shot right there. Welcome back to First Take, coming to you live from the Seaport, brought to you by Chase. Plenty left on this Feel Good Friday. More on the Brady versus Stafford mega matchup. Justin Fields has his first ever NFL start on Sunday. Is he under more pressure against the Browns than Stephen A., your quarterback, Big Ben, versus the Bengals? And keep it locked as we take a closer look at Aaron Rodgers' showdown with Jimmy G and the crew. Let's keep it rolling. RC is here with us. And look at the biggest game of the week. Brady and the Bucs versus Stafford and the Rams. Both Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford have gotten off to hot starts this season. While Stafford has a better QBR and higher completion percentage, Brady is facing the entire NFL with 9 touchdown passes through his first 2 games. Last season's Jared Goff-led Rams gave Tom and the Bucs one of their 5 total losses. RC, good to have you with us. Tell me this, is this a must-win for Stafford?
It absolutely is. And I truly hate saying things are must win in week 3, because especially now you have 17 weeks. So you can lose this week and run off the next, and then you're good. But that's not the case for Matthew Stafford. He was talking in the preseason, and he said he came to Los Angeles because he wanted to play in big games. He wanted to be in meaningful moments, and he wanted to make winning plays when they counted. Well, here's the first time that they count. It doesn't have to be a playoff for Matthew Stafford. Last year, the Jared Goff-led Los Angeles Rams beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and he and Matthew Stafford is supposed to be the upgrade. They're supposed to be able to win because of Matthew Stafford, not in spite of or win with Matthew Stafford. And so here is his chance. You're facing the greatest player of all time. You're facing an offense that puts up points in large numbers. And so now, Matthew Stafford, can you be that difference? Can you push the football down the field? Can you make those huge plays? Can you beat the GOAT? And this will be his first opportunity to do so.
Well, why don't you stop it? I mean, that's ridiculous. Just like you just said. It's week 3, man. It's week 3, Ryan. You're just being ridiculous. So all of a sudden, the Rams, who, by the way, are 2-0, anticipated to be a Super Bowl contender, definitely, obviously making the playoffs, will likely meet Tampa Bay or Green Bay or somebody in the postseason, okay? Week 3 of the NFL season in Matthew Stafford's 12th year, all right, his 3rd game with his new team. He has to win. Stop. Don't get me wrong. He can't stink up the joint. Now, I ain't going to say that. I'm not going to say that it wouldn't be a very bad thing if he shows up against Tom Brady and then he shows up and play and looks like Aaron Rodgers looked in week 1 against, against New Orleans. I'm not saying that. But what if Matthew Stafford, who's already thrown for 599 yards, what if he has a 300-yard game, throws about 3 touchdowns, QBR's up there, it's a competitive game, and Tampa Bay walks away, let's say with a 34-31 win or whatever. Oh, my God, stop the presses. Matthew Stafford's going to look bad? Stop, Ryan. That's not true. That's not true.
This is so crazy to me, Stephen A. We coming off a week where all of y'all were on TV. Oh, Lamar Jackson has to play so well. This team has to win. They never beat Kansas City. Lamar Jackson has done much more than Matthew Stafford. Lamar Jackson has proved much more than Matthew Stafford, but he's already playing in must-win games in week 2. But now Matthew Stafford, who in his life has never won anything. Yes, he's shown us that he's a number 1 overall talent. He's shown us that he had an amazing arm, but he's not a winner. Matthew Stafford isn't a guy that has led teams to great seasons, been an MVP, and now he gets his chance in his new place where you got rid of your first overall pick, Jared Goff, a guy that's already brought you to a Super Bowl, and you're telling me in his first huge game against Tom Brady, he doesn't have to go out and win? A guy that has never proved in his NFL career that he could be a winner doesn't have to go out and win? Give me a break, Stephen A. And don't act like you're the dude that sits there and lives life with logic and rationale. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't be around here being Brick and hosting Jimmy Kimmel. You would just sit on First Take and sit on Stephen A's World with all the 11 million shows you have and just chill. But you know you need to do more, just like Matthew Stafford needs to do more. Matthew Stafford has to win this game, not the Rams. Y'all didn't ask me if the Rams had to win this game because the team's going to be okay.
Did Ryan, he get you? I feel like he kind of just got you.
No, he didn't. He dropped his mic. He didn't get his mic.
No, he literally dropped the mic.
Please, the little bro don't get the big bro. The big bro is the one that gets the little bro. That's how this works. Now, let me be very, very clear, Ryan, since you wanted to quote me.
Stephen A., you see
Did I not just finish listening to you? Did I not just finish listening to you? I thought I just finished listening to you. That's what I just did. It's my turn. Ryan Clark, if I remember correctly, I specifically said, when you're looking at Lamar Jackson, it's not about that. It's about the fact that you can't throw for 97 yards. What I said is, if you're going to go up against Patrick Mahomes, you got to show you can fling that football, you could be that playmaking extraordinaire, and you can make things happen too. You can't fold like a cheap tent against Patrick Mahomes because that's likely the individual that's going to be standing in your way for years to come. We pointed out how young Lamar Jackson was. I said, excuse me, Patrick Mahomes ain't some senior citizen. The brother's 26 years old and in the same conference. Somewhere along the way, you have to beat him. You're 0-3 against him at the time going into that game. You have to beat him. You got to show out. You got to make sure that you ain't the reason y'all lose the game. That's what I said about Lamar Jackson. It's on tape. So you can try to misquote me, but it ain't going to work. Okay? It ain't going to work because the quotes are there. All right? Now, getting back to Stafford, what I'm saying is he has to play well. I get that part. But it's not a must win. Okay? If he plays well, but somehow, some way his defense don't show up and Tom Brady gets the better of them, it's okay as long as he balls.
So what you're saying is it's okay for Matthew Stafford to continue the trajectory that his career has always been. We know Matthew Stafford is good, but they don't win. So that's okay to you now? You can allow Matthew Stafford when you bring him over to a team like the Los Angeles Rams?
I think this is a different standard. The Detroit Lions, they got to the playoffs 3 times in like 12 years. They haven't won a playoff game since 1991, I think, or whatever the case may be. The bottom line is you got that backdrop. In this particular situation, it's about going up against the GOAT. It ain't about just going up. It's not just a big game. It's going up against the reigning defending Super Bowl champions led by a 44-year-old dude who's got 7 Super Bowl titles and is considered the greatest of all time. There's a difference. So I don't think that the urgency to win this game is on him. It's an urgency for him to perform well.
Was the acquisition of Matthew Stafford not to take this team to a different level that they didn't believe Jared Goff could take them?
Yes,
was that not why they went out and got Matthew Stafford?
That is correct.
Well, this is his first opportunity to prove it. This is pressure on Sean McVay to say, you know what? Los Angeles Rams fan, Les Snead, this is the reason we needed Matthew Stafford, because when we play people like Tom Brady, I want to have a guy I can believe in. I want to have a guy who I think that is as good or better when he needs to be in big moments. This is Matthew Stafford's first big moments. If Matthew Stafford was a rookie, if Matthew Stafford was a third-year guy, a fourth-year guy, a guy who is just coming into his own, then I say, you know what? Nah, it doesn't really matter. He just has to go out and play well. He just has to show that he can compete. No, Matthew Stafford has to make plays to win this game. I do not care if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the football last. If they got the football last, you better have enough points to where they cannot catch up. Matthew Stafford has to win this game. You know it. I know it. I know you're trying to be consistent, but you've been inconsistent in life before, and you need to be now so you can be right.
I don't know. Well, first of all, I'm usually right, so it's not it's no big deal. That's number one. Number two,
Stephen A's world.
Number two, whatever, in Stephen A's world and First Take. It don't matter. It don't matter. And listen, I don't even have to worry about it. Like I said, it's his first opportunity, but it won't be his last this season. And that's the key point to be made. And by the way, I don't have to make my point further. I'll just leave it to my man DC Daniel Cormier to make it for me when he's beating you up on y'all podcast together. I'll just let him handle it for me, because he's going to side with me. He's going to side with me. He's going to side with me. Okay? That's what it is.
Rolling with nothing but the Saints.
That's right.
I felt like RC got you. I mean, what
you always say that,
No,
Molly.
go with the Lamar Jackson. It's true.
Molly,
We're hard on Lamar Jackson. We didn't do it to Matthew Stafford.
Molly hasn't agreed with me since I called her out about UConn. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. She stood up ready to fight because she went, I'm going to see UConn and Purdue. And I said, why? Why would you do that to yourself? And she hasn't recovered since. That's all it's about. That's all that's about. It's okay.
Let's not go there now. Right. We don't have time to go there. All right. Quarterback matchup extraordinaire on Sunday with Patrick Mahomes taking on Justin Herbert. Which team takes home that AFC West showdown? That game debated. You made a face and you wanted to walk off, and I just wanted to fall out dying laughing. That was good.
Whatever they say. I've had a blast.
We had a lot of fun.
That's right.
We had a lot of fun this week. Sam Acho's still here with us, and Ryan Clark. Guys, Big Ben doing everything he can to play Sunday, of course, after injuring his pectoral muscle in a bad lopsided loss to the Raiders. Justin Fields will get his highly anticipated first NFL start. You know the Sam Acho living in Chicago. After an injury knocked out Andy Dalton, how happy they must be down there in Chicago. Not the injury, about Fields, of course, getting the nod. Stephen A., I'm going to start with you. Who do you think is under more pressure? Do you think it's Ben or Justin Fields?
Believe it or not, I think it's Ben, because Justin Fields is a rookie, and we hope a lot of things about it, but expectations, no. But Big Ben Roethlisberger, let's call it what it is. He's looked relatively anemic, to say the least. He's got, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, completing 62% of his passes. Looks like a statue out there. Seems completely immobile. And right now, the Steelers season, I'm not going to say it's on the line because it's week 3, and we're talking about Mike Tomlin coach team here that has never, ever finished under 500 in his coaching career. But when we consider the elevation of the Baltimore Ravens combined with the Cleveland Browns in the AFC, Cincinnati is nothing to sneeze at this particular moment in time. They lost last week, but Joe Burrow has skills. Jamar Chase has skills. They've got some weapons there. The bottom line is, if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, particularly with T.J. Watt, and I don't know what the hell is. You and Ryan, Sam. What can y'all tell me what the hell is going on with a football team that got 4 dudes with groin injuries? What the hell are they doing? What the hell are they doing? We got T.J. Watt. We got T.J. Watt. We got Alex Highsmith. Okay. We got Joe Hayden, and I forgot who the 4th one is. All got groin injuries. What the hell's going on up there in Pittsburgh? All 4 of y'all. Now they got a plethora of injuries. But all 4 different dudes with the same.
I distance myself from these comments. I just want America to know that.
I damn near want to distance myself from it. I don't want to.
Because my mind doesn't go there. Okay, so please don't take it there.
I just feel you. All I'm trying to say is that
How
I look
many
at
had groin injuries?
Listen, you gave me the sheet yesterday, and I looked at the injuries, and I'm like, 1, 2, 3, 4 different dudes with the same injury, and it's all groin injuries. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know what the hell's going on up there. All right,
Everybody needs to rest.
I don't know what's going on there.
Everybody just needs to rest.
I got it, but all I'm
heal.
saying is, at the end of the day, when you consider all of that, Big Ben Roethlisberger and your offensive line is so suspect. Big Ben Roethlisberger, your only hope is for him to do something, and that's pressure.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sam. Go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
I feel like you must have played for the Steelers because no matter when they come up, you just have to talk about them. And maybe you just enjoy talking about the Steelers, but you know good and dang well it's more pressure on Justin Fields. The headline of one of the local papers in Chicago was Justin Fields gets his chance, ... and not much else. Because for all offseason, for all of the preseason, everyone has been calling for Justin Fields to play. The fans in the stands have even been chanting his name while Andy Dalton was on the field. And then he gets to play, and so nobody realizes that Allen Robinson drops a touchdown, a guy who never drops a football, who actually made Blake Bortles and Mitchell Trubisky look good at times, drops a touchdown. That's a 40-yard touchdown. Now he's 7 for 13. A ball hits off of him. Like, they don't realize those things because people are looking at Justin Fields and judging him by these things. They believe the Chicago Bears still have a championship defense. They do not. They believe that the Chicago Bears has a coach that if he has the right player at the position can actually coach. They do not. So Justin Fields is not only going to be judged for what he does, but for what the Chicago Bears look like and how they finish against the Cleveland Browns. Big Ben ain't under no pressure. He a Hall of Famer, baby. He ain't got nothing to trip about up there. And everybody know that me, you, Molly, and Sam Acho are blocking for him. He is safe. Justin Fields is not.
Well, Justin Fields may not be safe, and he does have more pressure, but the reason why is a lot different than what you're saying, Ryan. The reason Justin Fields has more pressure isn't just because the fans have been cheering for him. It's because the expectations are through the roof for him. Chicago has never had a franchise quarterback. Go down the list. Jay Cutler, you couldn't say he was that guy. Mitch Trubisky, you couldn't say he's that guy. Go down whatever list you want to go to. Chicago hasn't had it, and now Chicago, everyone in Chicago believes that Justin Fields is that guy. Even me, I'm here in New York. I'll be walking down the street. People know me because I played with the Bears. They're saying, Sam, what's going to happen with Justin Fields? Sam, I hear you've been saying that he should sit, but come on, we need him. We need him. We need him. That's pressure. Big Ben is 39 years old. He's won his rings. He's done his thing. If he doesn't play well for the rest of this season, he could retire and maybe go in the Hall of Fame. Justin Fields hasn't proven anything yet. He has a lot to prove and a lot on his shoulders. That defense, contrary to your point, Ryan Clark, is a championship defense. We saw them show it last week with Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith essentially won the game for his team last week when Andy Dalton went down and Justin Fields essentially sputtered through the second half of that game. And so, yes, of course, Justin Fields absolutely has more pressure. It's because he's younger, number one. It's because, number two, the entire city and the nation is looking at this guy saying, you are our future, and no one is going to wait for him to be average. He has to be excellent. He has to be excellent, like, now.
I would chime in, but why are you covering your nose like that?
Because this boy talking about sputtered. He sputtered. Like, I just feel like, man, I feel like sometimes we get to these games and we listen to each other so much and we hear some people say some other things and we not really paying attention to what's going on. Right? Because we're talking about a zero blitz with a fallout where Kurt Warner, who I believe was an MVP, also is a Hall of Famer, throws a 100-yard interception to James Harrison on the same thing. That happens. That's a crosser. That's something you have to learn. I just told you about the 2 drops, but let's talk about the 3rd and 9 play where he essentially escapes a linebacker in the backfield, slides in bounds, using his head, showing that he's not going to go out of bounds to stop the clock to win the game. I think all the time we start to look at these different things that these young quarterbacks do and the pressure that they're under, and we don't truly watch the film and hone in on how the game finished. That team is not a championship defense. If you watch the first week against the Los Angeles Rams, it was bombs over everywhere. And so, no, we can't watch a game against Cincinnati Bengals where they struggle and say that that's the case of this game. You know the pressure is on Justin Fields because even his own quarterback his own coach doesn't want to start him.
I know that